Yo, what's happening out there, everybody? Welcome back once again to the Cook Up with Marcus Full Legend, and I would like to welcome back a very special guest of mine, Wendy Sky.
Hey,
Uh,
how you guys
yeah,
doing out there?
yeah, we're going to discuss some very serious but yet everyday topics. First of all, I would like to ask Wendy. Um, so I hear that you're trying to run for office over in Delaware. Explain to everybody what's the deal with that, and what are your plans for the time that you're living in.
Well, as you do know, I'm from West Philadelphia, but I did move out here in approximately 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved out here, um, I became involved in some community activism. Kind of by mistake, or I guess it's
Yo,
just my
what's happening out
calling.
there, everybody? Welcome back once again. Yep. Okay. Okay. So, tell everybody about your background. Because I remember in the past, I remember you told me about you was into like politics a few years before that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
prior to
yeah.
me moving to Delaware, I was living in Upper Darby and I ran for the school board in 2003. And then I ran also for council at large
Mm-hmm.
in 2005, and I won that seat.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what's up. Yeah, that's good.
Ended up
So how?
slipping into it.
Okay, so how did that work out for you? What did you accomplish?
It worked out pretty well. It gave me a front end and back and look at
Okay.
politics and how it works for the people.
Okay.
When you live in a neighborhood and you see certain things happening in your neighborhood, like potholes, trash, anything that's going on in your neighborhood, and you get to look behind the scenes to see what's
Mm-hmm.
really going on, then you're able to communicate with the people and
Yeah.
let them know, what's going on and what would be good for our children in our neighborhoods.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Me myself personally, I've been looking to get into stuff like that. Doing some volunteer work in the local neighborhoods and doing charity events. Stuff to that
Yes.
effect. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like I could make a difference when it comes to stuff like that. I enjoy watching families come closer together, and uh, the children are happy, the neighborhood's clean, very low
Yes.
very low crime. I know things are
Yes.
going to happen, but I would like to see things to a minimum. Uh, it's been like back home, but yeah, back home where I'm from, it's been a lot of tragedies with my family members and friends. A lot of violence and stuff. So even though I'm not back home, I still would like to be the area that I'm living in now. I would like to try to make a difference in the neighborhood that I'm in, and eventually I can you go back home and try to do the same back home with the local, government back home and some of the local people in the area that's able to make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
definitely need you. Okay,
Oh,
so you need to
okay.
go out there, and that's to the people out there too. Don't just sit around and complain about it. Do something about it. Make some
Right.
good trouble, as the late John Lewis has stated. Um,
Mm,
if all it takes is a little communication and knowing, no matter of fact, not just a little communication, a lot of communication
right.
between the police forces in the areas, and their relationship with the
Hmm.
citizens.
Hmm.
um, and as we do know, that's been kind of, the theme of this year, a whole lot of, you know
Yeah. Yeah.
weird
The
incidents going on and killings and, all of this crazy stuff, with George Floyd and, Breonna Taylor. I just want to say that name. Let me say it again, Breonna Taylor.
yeah.
Um, so we definitely have to have a voice inside. And the one thing about me is, since I did come from humble beginnings, it's not like I'm, jumping up off of some pedestal to go talk to somebody. I
Mm,
really want to be more so of a liaison between the community and the
Mm-hmm.
legislative branch, because a lot of times we are misunderstood in our dialogue even. We can't
Right.
even have in particular conversations because nobody understands the lingo of in particular minorities.
Right.
So I want to be that voice, and I call it myself, my campaign, y'all, the voice of the unheard. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So anyone that feels as though that their issues are not being brought forth to the city and local governments,
Mm-hmm.
anybody that feels as though that there's something that we can do to improve our conditions in our environment, as
Mm-hmm.
far as keeping everything, cleanly for our children,
Yeah.
and not having them in environments that reflect doom. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Uh-huh. So
I'm all
speaking of
it.
speak speaking on the environmental situation, I've been noticing, and also I've seen on the news where they have not been picking up the trash in certain areas of Philadelphia, and it's
Yes, yes. I was in
what's going on
Philadelphia
with that?
today. To be honest with you, I don't know, but that
Mm-hmm.
is something where you can get started. You can actually call the
Mm-hmm.
local government and ask them, why is Fifth Street, Fourth Street, and Third Street trash still out there and it's 7 o'clock at night? I mean, these are
Mm-hmm.
questions that the people in the community need to start pushing and asking so they can get the proper question.
Mm-hmm.
Answer to the question,
Question, yeah.
and fight it. You have
Yeah.
to fight it, and you fight it with the people's voice. And you just get more people that say, you know what, I don't like this trash being out here. Come on, let's sign a petition. Let's go talk to somebody, that can
Mm-hmm.
give us some answers. And then you
Right.
get movement. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't know that, you gotta have action to get movement.
Yeah, you're right about that. Because I really did not like what I saw. I mean, I don't live in that area, but when I came through that area, I sometimes go there, for friends and stuff like that, for business deals and stuff like that. And I
Uh-huh.
just I was very uncomfortable down there. I was like, ain't no way,
And
yeah,
unfortunately, there's
yeah.
also trash workers
Hmm.
who have come ill in
Uh-huh.
Pennsylvania. Over 100 and something trash workers
Uh-huh. Yeah.
have caught coronavirus. So you also have to keep that in mind. They may be short staffed. There may be some kind of issue going on where people don't want to go in particular areas where they think that people are not taking care of
Hmm.
the neighborhoods. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
that's how it is. It's just the truth.
It is. It's definitely the truth. I just wanted to know what your point of view was with that. That's something
Mhm.
that was been on my mind for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah. I can't stand it. That's what I cannot stand
Me,
trash.
yeah.
I feel like, especially if I'm in front of someone's house that I'm visiting,
Hmm.
anywhere. It doesn't just have to be Philadelphia. It can be anywhere. And I'm
Anywhere,
standing
yeah.
in front of your house and there's a bunch of cans and candy wrappers and crap, right in front of your house. And like, why can't you just go pick it up? I mean,
Right,
I don't see a boogeyman running around in any city, anywhere, dumping trash in the street.
right, yeah,
That's us, and we have to fix it.
yeah, yeah. And we definitely, being that you're a political woman and you're looking to get into back into the government again, so maybe that'd be something that I can slide in your mailbox so you can slide it on to someone else so we can try to get some of this stuff
Yeah,
fixed.
let's do
You know
that.
what I'm
Let's
saying?
do that. Let's not just talk
Yeah.
about it. Let's be
Yeah,
about
no, no, no. I'm all about it, man. Like I said, I'm trying to do some new stuff. I'm taking on some new ventures in my life. I'm using my musical influence and as well as my platform with my podcast to do something better, more than just get on here and talk and show off. I'm
Yeah,
all about action. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
So
That's right. Create your own
yeah,
news.
right, right, right,
You
right.
know what I
So
mean?
yeah. So, with one of the discussions, you were saying something about better communication between races,
Yes.
with everyone. Yeah, not just black and white, but all
No, no, no.
nationalities.
Everybody.
Um, everyone. Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah.
So this has been part of my agenda ever since my Upper Darby run. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it came from a personal situation. It actually came from my daughter, Tanisha, my oldest daughter, um, who was struggling in school. And I was wondering why she was, struggling in school and,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure things out and, get
Mm-hmm.
her on the right path. And what I
Mm-hmm.
noticed was I was getting phone calls from the council at
Wow.
the school saying, I don't understand what she's saying. And I'm
Hmm.
like, excuse me? Yeah, could you come up here? I don't know what's going on. And I would get in there and it would be something really simple like, you, in our dialect, you know how you say, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying, or something in that
Yeah,
nature.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what she's
Right.
talking about. I said, she says she doesn't understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And right then it kind of clicked to me like there is some kind of deficiency between the dialect of minorities and
Mm-hmm.
others.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people, and this might be slightly radical, but I think people need to start getting used to the dialect that other people speak as well, not just the English language, but
Right. Right.
other people's expressions and um,
Mm-hmm.
their wording, their
Right.
ebonics.
Right.
It's very important because you can be talking past someone
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even understand what the situation is. And you've
Right.
explained it clearly, but you're just explaining in your own light.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And this country itself is built on diversity. It's a very diverse place. So
Mhm.
it's with different nationalities, different walks of life, different ways of life. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we all should learn from each other and understand each other's ways. You see what I'm saying? Instead of trying to,
Embrace each other's culture
yeah,
instead of
yeah,
pointing at it and calling it something because it's nothing but being human
right, right, right. You know,
and who you
the
are.
Yeah. Um, Human life is just as colorful as a rainbow. It's everyone brings a different flavor to the table. Everyone has something special that they bring from their culture. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
that's the way I look at it. I've always been a open door with stuff like that. I'm real transparent with stuff like that. So, um,
Which is very good, but it's not a whole lot of us out there. Some people just
right.
sit back and they watch in particular news feeds, and they get all of their information from these
Yeah.
news feeds, and they just regurgitate what they hear and don't understand that
Yeah.
what they said could be insulting to someone else.
Right.
Unfortunately, because African Americans and minorities normally
Hmm.
on television are the first ones to be broadcasted when
Hmm.
something goes wrong. But when
Right.
something goes good, they're not,
No,
you
they're
know,
they're
right,
not necessarily televised like that.
right,
It's always
right.
this stereotypical negative image that's always put out there,
It
seen
is. It
to
is. And you know what?
yeah,
That's another reason why I want to run for council here in Newark because I want to
yeah,
show diversity. I
hmm,
want to give a voice to people who feel like they're unheard. They're just living, going to work, coming home, and that's it. And nothing that they complain about or they want to see get better is even heard.
hmm,
That is my plight. And also to show that we have such a diverse culture of
right,
not only minorities, even, my fellow European sisters and brothers,
yeah,
everybody can get along. I mean, I know it has been done. And another
hmm,
thing I want to say is this: there is probably nothing that has not happened to me that I can't tell a story about, just about. I
right,
have been through it all. I have been
hmm,
rich, well, not rich, kind of rich, poor,
yeah,
in middle. I've been
hmm,
down.
hmm,
I've been up. I've gone
hmm,
through everything you could possibly even think of. So, I think that I am fit for this office, and I think that they need to come out and vote. Vote for Wendy
Right,
Creasy. New
right. Y'all,
change.
if, to everyone that's in the area that's watching, man, y'all go out there and vote for
Hey,
Wendy Creasy,
New
aka Wendy,
Orleans.
man. Very good
Shout
woman,
me out in Philly too.
very intelligent woman, and she also is down to earth, man. I think she would do real good for council. So y'all need to
Oh,
go,
thank you so much. I
go.
really, really appreciate it. You would be
Yeah.
surprised what the challenge that I went through, even in Upper
Mm-hmm.
Darby, trying to run for
Uh-huh.
office. I was the first African American Black woman to run in that county,
Mm-hmm.
so it was kind
Uh-huh.
of like a shock, and it was a lot going on. I was being harassed by the police, all kinds of crazy stuff to try to
Oh
scare
wow.
me out of running for office, but I still did it, and I'll still do it here too.
That's good. That's good. Don't let no hater stop you. Don't let them back you down. Just keep going. Keep your head up. Just do
Oh
what you need
yeah,
to
oh
do. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
This tough
Yeah.
cookie's been through enough. Okay, so I think I can take it
Right.
through
That's
some thicker
good.
skin, but
That's great. So
I'm
we
coming
gonna
with peace. So
yeah. So we gonna switch gears here.
sure.
Another topic. What do you think about the legalization of marijuana? What's your take on that?
I think it should be legalized. I also think that marijuana is also a medicament that
Mm-hmm.
helps people who have
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, who
Mm-hmm.
suffer from cancer, diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
for glaucoma. I think it's something that's well needed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be. What's that? What's that?
No, I'm
Oh,
listening. I didn't say
yeah.
anything. Yep.
I just think that it's it's a good thing, and it needs to be legalized.
I hear you. Yes,
Everywhere.
yeah. I think it definitely has more medicinal attributes over the whole being high thing. I think it does really
Yeah.
have medical benefits to it. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And I,
yeah.
I think, that's why it should be legalized. As far as
Uh-huh.
taxing it, uh, yeah. You know why? They tax
Hmm.
cigarettes and
Yep.
everything else, and it could be
Beer.
tax beer.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Alcohol. Yep.
exactly. So it could be a tax that could go towards maybe some kind of socio-economic program that
Hmm.
inspires children, or even
Hmm.
the mentally ill,
Hmm.
or disabled. It could be something that goes to a good cause.
Right. Yeah, and I definitely agree. It's always a way to spin it, but
Yes.
you have to jump through so many hoops just to get into action there,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah, and you got to be
Yeah.
careful who hand go in because they might say they're putting it towards this and they're actually putting it over there towards that. You know what
And
I'm saying?
that's where
And I
I come
think
in. Okay, that's where your
right, right,
politicians come in. We are the door
right,
stoppers. We are the ones that
right.
before you close the door on the situation, we
Hmm.
come in and say, wait a minute, these folks over here feel that this should be done or that should be done. Hold on, let's see what's going on
Right,
with this. Is there anything I can add to this to make it better or compromise?
right.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Let's see. What did we cover? What we didn't cover? Um, Healthcare, because I think healthcare is a big concern for a lot of people right now because of the corona situation, and a
Yes.
lot of people don't really have that good medical insurance or that kind of money to be spending on medical bills for being in the hospital or having a loved one that's been in ICU or whatever. So what do you think they should do about that? Do you think they should just do a tax on health care so everyone will have free health care? Do you think they should do
What do
that?
you mean, like they had in the beginning of Obamacare? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking about? The
yeah,
tax
yeah,
that they had at the
yeah,
beginning of the year? N-
yeah. Because
Not that part, but I do believe that everyone should be able to purchase whatever insurance they want. However, those who do not make as much money and have to put food on their tables and then have to sit around and shuffle and figure out, should I go buy a loaf of bread or a prescription, should not have to be struggling like that.
Right.
There should be certain lower incomes that get medical help for free. But to be honest with you, I'm for universal health care. Universal. I think going to the doctor is a civil right. I think if you're sick or if you have someone that needs any type of help, especially in times like this, that there should not be any issue with anyone being covered without having a huge medical bill placed upon them because of something they can't help.
Right. I was, thinking about that because, countries like Canada, their citizens have, like you said, universal health care. They don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? So
yes. And it just needs to be tweaked. It needs to be, I think Obamacare is fantastic. I think it just needs to be tweaked up a little bit better. Unfortunately, when Obama was in office and he was trying to make those changes and he was trying to pass a whole lot of legislation that just could not pass through because he had a Republican ran House. So it was even hard to even get the bill to say hi. Most of his legislative achievements he had to achieve with an executive order. I think that Obamacare would be a lot better off had he been able to make the changes to the bill that he put forth that he couldn't get through.
Okay, that's good. Oh well, hopefully they'll fix it though, man.
They have to.
I just feel for some people out there,
They have to. And people, hey, I want everybody to be covered. I want everybody. I care about my family just as much as everybody else out there. And I believe that we all should have some type of insurance.
Another quick topic I wanted to hit real quick. What do you think about the government unleashing these military troops on their own people for protesting?
Well, first of all, I had a question about the whole thing. He was stating that these are Border Patrol people, but they seem more like militia. They seemed like a private company that was probably hired by Trump and the Trump administration to go down there to create some type of videography and or something to show that Trump is tough. And it didn't work. And the last I heard, they were pulling out of there because they're not needed. If you notice, if something happens and, you being from where you are and me being from Philadelphia, if something happens in the neighborhood, when the police show up, the first thing people do is all come out of their houses and look. Right? So if you're protesting and you have a bunch of army militant people standing in front of you, blowing gas on veterans, I
saw it. That was messed up.
How dare you?
That's messed up because I'm a military veteran myself. So I took that personal when I saw him do that to that guy.
So is my father. So is my cousin. And my grandfather. So that was horrible. And I think it was one of the worst choices that he ever made. I think, it unfortunately woke up a whole lot of veterans as to the utilization of their powers. But I do not believe in my heart of hearts that this group was actually people that were organized. They looked disorganized. There was no marching orders. There was nothing was together.
Then they had
a big mess of people.
They didn't have any
a helicopter and said, "Let's fight."
They didn't have any identification on the uniform. They just had numbers on the uniform. So
no names. That could have been my neighbor down there. It looked very fishy, and it didn't pass the smell test with me. But I'm glad
that was wrong for that.
Break through the wall of moms. Shout out to the wall of moms. If I could have been there with you, I would have been there with you as well.
Right.
That was horrible to push back on them, to tear gas them, and the
Mm-hmm.
whole Bible holding situation
Mm-hmm.
in front of the White House, in front of the church that was unfortunately vandalized. I,
Mm.
it's just been a world of mess, you know.
Yeah,
But we're going to
yeah,
get it together.
yeah,
And
everything is just
you know what's
crazy right now.
something about this whole situation? It would be
Mm-hmm.
so nice if for once
Mm-hmm.
that Trump could come out and say, you know what, guys, I failed in a couple things. We all fail in a couple of things. And I
Mm-hmm.
do care about the people who have passed away. But just
Mm-hmm.
give me a chance to try to get it right. But
Yeah,
he's
see, that's
been
his.
on the stage too much,
Yeah,
and he's pushing more towards his own agenda as
yeah.
opposed to the people's agenda. And
And see,
there's no feeling in it or nothing. It's
that's
cold.
his thing. He does not apologize for anything. That's what that's how he is. He never
Because
apologizes,
to him
whether
to
he's wrong or not.
apologize is saying that
Yeah.
he is weak, when really
Mm-hmm.
you apologize, it makes you stronger, and
Mm-hmm.
it shows people that you are human and that
Mm-hmm.
you have a sense of sensibility of self. And
Right.
I think that's just a place where he can't get.
It's just not in him. He ain't built like that. So,
It's not going to happen. So if you're
uh,
waiting for it, forget it.
yep. Yeah, Wendy. So yeah. So it's been nice. It's been nice talking to you once again. It's good to have you back on my
Right.
show. I remember last time we had a Corona party on here. We had everybody on here. Remember that
Yeah,
last show?
yeah. We had a good
Oh, we
time.
had a good time in here last time.
Right.
It, but
Yeah,
it's definitely been good. To have you back on my show again.
it's been
We
a
got
pleasure.
we
Thank you. Thank you so much.
right. But to everyone out there in the Delaware area,
Hey,
please vote for Wendy Creasy, aka
Wendy
Wendy
Creasy.
Scott for council. And
Hey,
and to
yes.
everyone else, this was the Cook Up with Marcus Swole legend. We out of here, man.
Bye, everybody. God bless.
Peace.